It's news time. Information is power. The current, the news headline. Court grants Kanu 3 days to battle some charges. Biden backers not seeing results. The news in full. The Federal High Court in Abuja has granted Nnamdi Kanu 3 days to present his case for fresh bail and to challenge the competence of the fresh terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government. On the 21st of October 2021, a 7-count terrorism charge was slammed on Kanu, in which he pleaded not guilty and opted to challenge the validity of the alleged heinous crimes. A hearing notice issued by the Federal High Court for the determination of the 2 motions filed by Kanu and cited by Daily Post on Sunday indicated that 3 days have been earmarked for the matter. The hearing notice served on the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Justice and to Kanu through his lawyer Ifeanyi Ejiofor, fixed January 18, 19, 20, 2022 consecutively for the disposal of the 2 motions. Just over a year ago, millions of young people, women, and independents joined forces to send Joe Biden to the White House. But 12 months onto his presidency, many people have started to complain, leading voices across Biden's diverse political base openly decry the slow pace of progress on key campaign promises. Also, the frustration was especially pronounced this week after Biden's push for voting rights legislation effectively stalled, intensifying concerns in a party that fundamental democratic principles are at risk and reinforcing a broader sense that the president is faltering at a moment of historic consequence. Also, Ovation magazine publisher and presidential aspirant on the platform of the PDP, Chief Dele Momodu, has taken a swipe at those he described as media adlers of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for passing off an article he wrote about him in 2019 as an endorsement of his 2023 presidential ambition. The article, written by Momodu on 26 October 2019, argued that Tinubu was eminently qualified to contest for presidency. Momodu, who described himself as the latest victim of the antlers, wrote on his Instagram page on Saturday that though he didn't know who the media handlers of Tinubu were, but he could reasonably confirm that they had been fumbling too much by being so cheap and unimaginative in their campaigns.
The Buhari-led administration keeps making records in the arming of the Nigerian military, and coming just a few months after it supplied quite a number of mine-resistant ambush-protected MRAP vehicles to the Nigerian army, the Buhari-led administration has recently made another history by supplying another set of CS-VP3 Bigfoot MRAP multipurpose armored vehicles to them so as to enhance their conquest of insurgents and other violent criminal groups. The new military hardware were supplied on the 19th of November 2021 and have since been inducted into the Nigerian Army Ordnance, after which they were deployed for combat operations against insurgents in the northeast as well as against bandits in the other parts of the country. With these continuous military supplies by Buhari administration, it has become essential to point out that the administration has made Nigerian history about being the best in equipping and arming the country's soldiers, which is an essential element in motivating the troops to serve the nation with all their hearts. The new artillery guns for Nigerian army to equip and re-energize the military establishment for optimum performance in securing the territorial integrity of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari administration has brought a new set of artillery guns for the Nigerian army, and the new artillery guns were inducted into the armory of the Nigerian army on the 19th of December 2020 at the headquarters of the Nigerian Army School of Artillery, NASA, in Kakia, Kaduna State, after which they were deployed against insurgents and other violent groups in the part of the country. Overall, it is a very patriotic step taken by the Buhari administration in equipping and modernizing the Nigerian military establishment that has suffered long neglect from the previous administration. Yet, out-of-school children figure is witnessing a massive rise of orphans everywhere. We can't travel in peace. The economy is crumbling. People are burnt while traveling. The protesters marched from Audu Bako Secretariat to the Kanu government house, where security operatives received the group of protesters, listened to them and promised to take the matter further to the appropriate quarters. Meanwhile, following the recent spike in terror attacks in Sokoto and Katsina states, President Muhammadu Buhari has dispatched a high-level delegation made up of heads of national intelligence and security services to the two states. According to a statement by the President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, on Friday, Buhari expects the delegation to present an immediate situation report and recommendations on actions to follow to effectively deal with the worrying situation. And also, the defunct Social Democratic Party, SDP, Professor Yowuse Aga has urged separatist agitators to go about the agitations in a civilized manner to avoid bloodshed. In an interview with Vincent Kalu, the Professor Agia, a former senator who has served twice as minister and twice as ambassador, said that the 3 zones that have produced presidents should wait for the other 3 zones to have president. After that, he noted that the president should be chosen purely through popular contest, devoid of zoning. Many Nigerians have tried to go back in history to situate Nigerians' problems in the amalgamation of 1914. They say that Nigerians' amalgamation into one country should never be taking place because of our differences. These groups insist that the amalgamation's expiration date is over and is now the time for the dissolution of the Federation. But I say these people are wrong. There is no manual for the formation of nations. Wars, accidents, imperialism, necessity, agreement, arbitrations, and consensus have all given birth to countries. Our nation was born from imperialism and became a British colony after the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. But we shook off the shackles of colonialism and emerged as an independent nation. The whole world still understanding that Nigeria would be a great nation and would wipe away the tears of all black people of the world by building a great democracy and a republic where justice and honor, peace and progress will be showcased. The reasons for the failure to attain greatness are that we have poor leaders and poor followers who have not been able to make nation building their number one priority. Our leaders have continued to wallow in ethnic racism and corruption. Ironically, it was based on Pan-African unity and nationalism, and our founding fathers got independence. But soon after independence, we have systematically destroyed every fabric of nation building through corruption and ethnic racism. The last 6 years have been the very worst in throwing up Nigeria's fault lines. The parties have failed to give leadership and they lack ideological commitment, purpose, or clarity. The weak institutions of states have been unable to defend democracy, and the Nigerian people have yet not resolved on national greatness. When we decide, nobody can stop us, the professor says. The professor also noted that the Nigerians elite must come together and overcome their apathy and decide to make Nigeria great through comprehensive restructuring of the federation, saying that we need more efficient and leaner federal, civil and public service, and that we need the states to be stronger and the federal government to divest itself